At 12:40 a.m., in her own bed, in her own bedroom in the back of this house here at 17 Madison Street in Rochester, New York, Susan B. Anthony breathed her last. She was 86 years old, having lived a long and very significant life. At her request, no shades were drawn, no black crepe was hung. Only a simple wreath of violets was placed on the front door, as we have done this morning and we do every year. Her body lay in state here in the front parlor for all friends to come and to call. 2 days later, Rochester had a blizzard. Somehow this year, that image is so much more powerful. Thousands gathered downtown at Central Presbyterian Church, which we in Rochester now recognize as Hochstein Music School, which was the largest church available for the service, the place where Frederick Douglass's memorial service also had happened. The church was packed. There was a bitter March blizzard that day, and 10,000 people stood in the blistery snow and the biting wind to pay their respects to Susan B. Anthony. One reporter from Connecticut had written at her death, "When Miss Anthony began her life work, organizations of women were almost unknown or confined to the narrowest limits of church work. There are now many national organizations of women whose work, while various, is entirely for laudable objects: the amelioration of the woes of mankind, the elevation of the masses. That the suffrage movement has had great influence in bringing women to leading positions in sociological and reform movements is manifest." And the reporter goes on, "Miss Anthony was a woman of remarkable ability, of the highest personal character, of most lovable disposition, and faithful to the last to the cause to which she devoted all her energies. She was a true friend to humanity everywhere, and in her death the world loses one who lived only to do good." Her dear friend and leader in the movement, Anna Howard Shaw, who had been with her here at the house in her final days, commented at her funeral, "Her quenchless passion for her cause was that it was yours and mine, the cause of the whole world. She knew that where freedom is, there is the center of power. Hence her cause, perfect equality of rights, of opportunity, of privilege for all, civic and political, was to her the bedrock upon which all true progress must rest." Sean went on to say, "Her work will not be finished, nor will her last words be spoken while there remains a wrong to be righted, or a fettered life to be freed in all of the earth." Here at the Susan B. Anthony Museum and House, we commemorate this significant day in history with those of you here gathered. It's a day to remember this hero of our past, this great reformer who changed the world, and to pay tribute and to give thanks for the life of the great reformer. It's also a day when she would challenge us, as she said, when there is a funeral, pass by and get on with the work. Her vision of a world in which every person can live into their full opportunity, be granted freedom and the ability to participate in their government is not yet realized around our globe. She would be the first one to challenge all of us to take up the cause and do whatever we can to be involved in the movement that continues this day. In the past year, we've seen people being challenged in the very right to vote in this country. We've seen struggles around democracy around the world and around the globe, and always there are challenges for human rights, for people to live with dignity and in honor in their own circumstances. Susan B. Anthony was a part of a movement that had started long before she was born and continues long after we will be gone. She calls us to be a part of that amazing movement, a cause that is not our own cause, but a cause for all the world, for all the children, for all the women, for all the men, for each and every individual. On this day, as we remember the past, may we recommit ourselves to the present and to the future. In Susan B. Anthony's name.